Our class today will be largely about stretching. So there will be all sorts of poses that get us to some really good deep muscles. And so the intention today, as we start to settle really deeply into some of the stretches, is to try to have this sensation of relax rather than resist. Sometimes when things get hard in life, we tend to clench against it. And so the idea here, working on relax rather than resist, not only helps us in our practice, helping the muscles be more safe in their stretches, but it also helps us through life to try to see what it feels like to have that idea of relaxing into situations rather than resisting against them. So that'll be the idea that we're traveling into deep in class. We allow all sorts of muscles to get really good length. So with that to carry us on, let's begin. We'll start off taking knees into the chest. And as the knees come in, let your body have some easy movements. So maybe this is rocking just a little bit left, a little bit right. Those things that are speaking to you already. Releasing left leg long to the ground. So that side nice and solid. Trying to get the leg extended really straight. So from there, let's take right leg up to sky. So those that want to use props here, you could use strap around foot. You could use hands clasping around thigh, around calf, around foot. Whatever helps that right hamstring to get this first initial stretch. That's the spot that we're setting up, and just breathe into. Take one more huge breath for right hamstring. And let that right knee bend. Hands clasp around the knee. Try to pull the knee deeply in. Sliding the right hand to the outside of right foot, set up half happy baby pose. Three times slowly from half happy baby, we're going to extend the leg, but rather than extending up where we were just playing with, try to extend a little bit more out to the side. So nice and slow, taking it 3. And then right back down to soft bend. 2. And bend. 1. Maybe have an extension just a little bit longer for this third one. And we bend the knee back down, release hand from foot, take the left hand to that right knee, and invite the feet all the way across the body. First final twist of the day. Check in with the spine. Keep on sending slow, deep breaths. Another deep inhale. Exhale. Right hip returns to ground. Right leg back up to sky. Walk the hands as high as you can reach, head lifting up. And just try to pull the forehead into the knee. Give that a huge breath in. With that nice exhale, release hands. Lower that foot all the way to ground. And have the sensation of the heel sliding away out long, like it's trying to create space in the hip. Right leg is solid. So once we've got that set up, start to take this left leg in. And then extension up to sky when you're ready. Taking extra time for this first one. If you wanted any props, go ahead and set it up around this foot. Easy breaths helping us get deeper and deeper. For some people, hips are the huge culprit when it comes to flexibility. And for some people, it's hamstrings. I'm one of those hamstring people. When my hamstrings start to get long, it's like the whole body of the hamstring speaks to me. It's like, oh, that's about as far as you want to go. Stop there. And that's always fine to listen to that stopping spot. But as I'm holding stretches for a bit longer, oftentimes I'll reach this point about 45 seconds after the stretch. I'll reach this point into it that makes it such that, the muscle itself is kind of relaxed into it. So now there's a new place where I can explore, maybe going just a hair deeper. So if you ever reach that point, feel free to relax into it. Feel free to maybe pull it in just a little more. And anytime that idea of resistance comes up, see if you can just breathe, helping that resistance out. So take 2 more huge breath cycles for this left leg. And then softly letting the knee bend. Clasp around the knee for a moment. Pull it deeply into chest. Not only does this help hip flexor, it also can help massage the colon. That's the best thing about yoga, is it helps all things, all systems of the body. Good. So when you're ready for half happy baby, left hand comes to left foot. Swing the knee open. Give it another couple of breaths, just opening the hip. And then 3 times with that extension, more out to the side rather than up. Take it 3, nice and long. And softly back in. Out for 2. And it comes back inward. When we take the third one, stay just a few breaths longer. Good. Take it back in. Soft knee, hand releases. Right hand takes over the knee to invite the leg into a nice spinal twist. Another breath to fill the belly, get that nice massage. Good. Hip down, leg up to sky. Walk your hands as high up the leg as possible. Try to pull the forehead into the knee. One more breath in. Exhale. Release the leg. When it drops down, feel that moment to have length in the hip by sliding the heel just a little further away. Good. Just enjoy a breath with this Shavasana. Let it flow in. Let it flow out. And we'll work our way up to a seated place, maybe rolling up before heading into cobbler. Lifting the spine up. Take the knees together. We're gluing our arms in a big hug around the thighs. This is trying to set torso right up against thighs. We're allowed to start walking our feet forward to the point where we don't lose that connection of torso to thighs. Some of us might be almost flat. Some of us might be really close to the beginning. It's okay. Just feel that stretch through hamstrings. I love this because it includes low back, whereas sometimes in stretches for hamstrings, people try to force the legs into a position beyond where the back is ready for. One more huge inhale. A nice exhale. Hands drop to floor. Press hands into the ground to support the spine lifting up. And from here, we're going to cross our legs, coming forward and through directly into a down dog. Feel that extension of legs. Feel the hips lifting high. Two more breaths, trying to find more and more length. Through legs, through spine, through hips. And softly lower down to knees. From kneeling, slide the right leg straight out to right. We're going to come up nice and high. We're going to take a little back bend for a moment. So left hand goes to that left heel. I like to tuck the toes on that left foot. That helps support just a little couple of inches for me. So left hand to left heel, hips go forward. Right hand starts to reach up to the sky, arch it back. Good. Right hand helps support us to lift directly up. And then right hand comes to that right leg, slide down, left hand up and over to that side. Beautiful. Easing up. Drop back down to hands, probably lowering to elbows for most of us. The first thing I work on here is trying to straighten out my spine. It has this tendency to curve a little bit here, so try to straighten it out long again. Even imagine the sitting bones where they're at And try to like kind of stick out your butt. So the sitting bones are trying to point even further to that back wall. So from here, if this is the perfect stretch, just stay right here. Sometimes people will go deeper by walking elbows even closer to that right leg. Good. Inching back to the center, come up to hands. When the right foot comes down, take another downward facing dog, feeling how different right and left are. Feel the sensation as if able to lift much higher than they were for the first down dog. Good. So soften knees back down. Left leg slides out long. Prepare for the half camel, so tuck the back toes, right hand to that back heel. Left hand starts to reach up to sky as we lean directly back. Maybe left arm can continue to point to that back. One more inhale. Exhale, ease up. Take left hand to left leg, slide it down. Right hand up and over laterally. Beautiful. And rising back up. Hands plant immediately underneath us. Remember, the first thing is straightening spine. Even trying to stick sitting bones further backward. If you're there and you want more, elbows walk a bit closer to left. Feel how at this pace, this speed makes it easy to go toward relaxation rather than resistance. Like an exploration of possibilities rather than impossibilities. One more good breath flowing in. Exhale, start to walk the hands right underneath us. Another down dog. So both legs, that deep extension upward. Heels can even lift if that helps you feel a sensation of back straightening up even more. Good. Take another breath flowing in. Out. Start to ease our way up to top of mat. Either forward fold or half forward fold, hands up to shins, whatever feels better for hamstrings. Huge inhale. Exhale. Inhale to rise. The spine arch up and back. Good. Hands to heart. Feet come in, preparing for Malasana. So step them about as wide as mat, toes turned out. You can always sit on block if you need. Come to that yogic squat. Good. Elbows push the knees more open. That helps rotate the hips. Huge breath in. Nice exhale. Hands drop down. So you straighten the legs. from the toes forward. They're still in that wide arrangement. Maybe from this spot, it's possible to grab the first two fingers around the big toes. If you have that grip, let the elbows bend out to the sides. Feel yourself getting invited just a little bit closer inward. Now releasing big toes, heel toe the feet in once. Feel that shift through some of the muscles of hamstrings. Heel toe in again, feel the shift again. And if you're not in parallel position yet, heel toe in again until you get there. Feel how that's very different than wider. Take another breath in. Out. Inhale, half lift, front slide up the shins. Exhale, drop the hands back to the floor. Just right foot slides back. Once you're in a good lunge, set that right knee softly to the floor. Your option here, hands can stay down. Hands can come up to thigh. If hips are still able to sink forward just as much, maybe up to side. Enormous breath in. And exhale, hands drop down, front leg straightens. This could be an opportunity to use blocks, lifting us a little bit higher. If, like we say, pretty straight, you are welcome to lean deeper and deeper into it. That moment again, moment of truth, how much can we help our hamstring relax rather than resist stretching? This time, this patience, almost see it at a muscular, molecular level. Imagine this patience is helping the muscle fibers know that they're safe, helping them learn to be a little bit longer more of the time. So now from here, shift weight forward a little bit. Hands are planted on fluff or floor. The back knee lifts. We're on the toes. And from that shape, it's not quite a full pyramid, but from that shape, try to re-straighten the front leg. You get just a couple more breaths. Soften the back knee so you can step that back foot up to top of that. Another forward fold, both legs working together for the stretch. All right. Hands to heart. Float this left knee, the one we were just working on. We take a twist. The left hand comes to the right hand to the outside of that left thigh, left hand behind. If anybody feels ready for extended twist, right hand goes to the foot, and then feel that extension. Beautiful. As we start to return our torso forward, release that leg down and back, simply slit. And back down to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fingers down, left foot slides back. Lower the knee. We're in this low kneeling lunge first. So hips sink forward. And stay here. Should be, for me at least, right forward. If that's not your second side, though, switch. Okay, yeah, switch it if you're opposite. Good, so you can leave hands down. You could walk up to the thigh. You could reach up to sky. One more ginormous inhale. Exhale, as we start to drop down, that front leg straightens, half splits. And it's that slow, patient journey. Heart comes closer down. Maybe the elbows start to bend a little bit more out to the side. Jinx! All good. Yeah, you should be feeling second leg stretching. The one that got that huge one before, now it's the other one. This is that point, getting close to that 30, 45 seconds. So maybe there's a little bit more space to relax. Rather than resist, notice if there's any muscles that are clenching. They allow a little bit more relaxation. One more deep breath flowing in. Out. As we walk our hands forward, we tuck the back toes. It's okay for heel not to necessarily be planted for this one. Kind of like a variation of pyramid, but front leg tries to straighten itself again. Into the back knee, so we can smoothly step that back foot up to the top. Here, take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart. Right knee floats in front. Left hand can wrap. Trying to play with this balance, or if anybody wants to slide left hand to that right foot, play with the extension. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Right leg swings under and back, standing split. And lower the foot down. Maybe some of us can start to walk our feet to step on our hands. If that's not working, big toe clasp that we played with before is fine, or just whatever version of forward fold is successful. Good. Start to unwind hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step walker, jump back to plank. Anybody who wishes to can take a flow. Or you can go straight to down dog or child. So from down dog, his right leg starts to lift up to sky, trying to keep the hips square. Or right leg up to sky. And then right foot steps in between hands. Back heel goes down, sweep the arms up to sky. Warrior one. Open up to warrior two. And turning the toes to that left long edge of the mat, we'll come down into wide angle forward fold. So perhaps grabbing big toes, elbows bending out to the sides, or perhaps reaching the hands under and through that space in between our legs. Bend the knees, roll the spine up. Triangle, right toes turn forward. Open the arms out left and right. Reach the right hand forward. This tilts that left hip up. And right hand drops to shin. Maybe block. Left hand reaches directly up. Good. Feel that top shoulder. Kind of rotate open just a little bit so the back is flat as if you're leaning against the wall. Good. Rising back up softly to warrior two. Feel space in the inner thighs for this warrior two. So it's like we're lowering down and rotating the front knee open to the point where we feel inner thighs open, stretching. Good. The back hand drops down to circle up, shortening our stance. Warrior one facing forward. Front knees bent. Good. Hands to hips, front leg straightens. True pyramid this time. So back heel is all the way flat. Start by leaning halfway forward, really straight spine. And from that point, hands drop to shin, maybe to blocks or floor. If you'd like a deep expression today, hands come together, touching in a prayer position, and try to slide those hands forward of the foot. Good. We're going to work our hands to plant under the shoulders. So if the front needs to soften a little bit, that's fine. The front foot, that right one, is going to sweep under and back up to three-legged dog. And then right knee to pigeon pose, right underneath our dog. If you want to play for a moment with the back bend, that's fine. If you want to go straight to sleeping, then that's fine. You choose the variation here. Take 3 more beautiful breaths. For that 3rd breath, plant the hands. We'll travel this front leg back into a recovery pose. Maybe that's a flow. Heading to down dog with some movement. Your choice entirely. Good. So from down dog, left foot starts to float. Try to keep the hips square rather than pulling that left hip open. Good. Left foot steps in between hands, back heel drops down. Warrior 1. Opening up warrior 2. Turning toes to this long edge of the mat. Wide angle forward fold. Choose the arm variation that's gonna work. Maybe walking through legs, maybe big toes grabbing. Soften the knees as we start to roll up. Left foot turns to top of mat. Open the arms left and right. Left hand reaches forward. Left hand drops to shin. Up hand up to sky. Rising up, warrior 2. Feel that front knee rotate open enough and sink down enough that your inner thighs are having that sensation of pulling space in hips. Good. So transition to warrior 1. The back hand drops down, circles up. Front leg straightens. Hands go to hips. You even need to shorten stance more. This is a good point to do it. Tilt to that halfway point. Once you're there, you could choose shin block floor. Maybe hands choose that prayer position and you slide your fingers further and further forward of the foot. Two more breaths. And preparing for downward facing dog, 3-legged with that left leg. Swing it down to float it up. Left leg comes into pigeon pose. The exact variation, maybe more lifted for a time, maybe straight to sleeping. few more good slow breaths. For all three, start to head out. Maybe you choose a different recovery pose, or maybe you take a flow. Beautiful. So from downward facing dog, right leg floats back up. Step right foot in between hands. Lower left knee to the ground. Two options. Right hand either reaches up to circle back and we stay in a nice twist. Or if you'd like to grab the back toes, if that's comfortable for your body, that's option 2. More slow breaths. As we start to come out, your choice, last hamstring stretch. Maybe it's an easy half split. Maybe it's part way to splits. Maybe you're all the way there, so it's up to you. Last chance to get that right hamstring really long. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Ease it back. Sometimes I'll even let that right leg kind of shake once it's behind me. In that hamstring, remember what it is to be loose. So then when you feel satisfied, up to down dog. Left leg floats up high. Step left foot in between hands, soften the back knee down. Left hand reaches up to twist back or grab the back toes. Sinking forward. More breath here. Easing out. Maybe an easy half split, or maybe sliding part way or all the way forward. Deep as you wish to go right now. More breaths. The leg travels back. If it felt nice to give it some shakes, go right ahead again. Beautiful. When that feels good, we're going to take a frog pose. Really deep last stretch. So most of us will be turning in towards center of room, maybe even folding up edges of mat to add more padding for feet. Whenever you're there, set up the knees really wide and make sure everything has a 90-degree angle. Knee joint has a 90-degree angle, hip joint has a 90-degree angle. So toes go straight back. You got it. So lowering down to elbows. The majority of this cue is not for you. I think there's one or two in this room that might benefit from lowering heart a little closer to ground, but you don't have to. Elbows is beautiful. Mm-hmm. You look like the perfect position. Oh, you're great. Yeah. Yes, up. Yeah. It's gravity helping inner thighs relax a little bit more. So notice how the immediate tendency is to kind of have the muscles resist against it. See if there's any muscles that are willing to lengthen and relax instead. You won't be here too much longer. Give you about 3 more good breaths. As you start to head out, you'll tuck the toes, scoot the knees closer, open the mat back out. Take a moment with a child pose. Wide knee or narrow. Just feel how that's completely different than frog. Will that release their hips? Perhaps even sliding the arms forward. You can walk the fingers off the left side of the mat. Off the right side of the mat. Good. Back onto the mat, one more breath. Let it flow in. Out. Rising up. We'll come to sit for a moment and let some windshield wipers happen. So the knees start to tilt over to the left, knees over to the right. Imagine again you could see what's going on at a molecular level. See all the increased circulation from the deep stretch. Good. So as that feels complete, we're heading towards Shavasana. This last minute or two is up to you. So if there's last seated stretches you'd like to explore, that's great. If there's any stretches on your back that you'd like to take, great. It's all up to you. These last few minutes, whatever would be helpful for your system. Any last things that you need to feel complete? Zero rush at all. Take a full minute or two. You can stretch if your body needs it. If you're in Shavasana, let this be the beautiful culmination of everything we've worked for in practice today. So this starts to come to the mental effort rather than resistance to Shavasana, rather than letting thoughts go crazy, just thinking about to-do lists, etc. See if you can find the quality of release into this moment. Release into breath. Release into relaxation. Finding that quality just a little bit. Let's begin to deepen our inhales. Deepen our exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking it to a nice fetal position on one side. Perhaps let yourself enjoy 2 or 3 good deep breaths. Eventually coming up to a comfortable seated position when you feel ready. So with hands at the heart, we recall that intention one more time. That idea of playing with release rather than resist. Noting how that can make our life maybe a little bit happier on some days. And there's things that we can't change. We allow ourselves to find the areas where we can relax. When things get intense, we try to relax. So with this to help lead us on, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time we shared together with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.